It's more than 40 years since the Falklands War. Evidence of the brief but bloody campaign by British forces to retake the islands from Argentina is rusting away on the hills around the capital, Port Stanley. But memories of the conflict don't fade.
We've been taken over, the radio station, as expected, by the Argentine invasion force. If you take the gun out of my back, I'm going to transmit that news. If you take the gun away. But I'm not speaking with the gun in my back.
That's the voice of Patrick Watts, who was broadcasting from Falklands Radio as Argentine soldiers burst into the studio on the 2nd of April 1982.
These guys, are coming into the radio station, and like my radio station, and I say to them, you can't come in here with guns because you don't bring guns into a radio station. Not in my radio station. Take them out. And the officer in charge actually can be heard telling them to take the guns out and put them in the passage.
That calm defiance has defined this British overseas territory since. But it's a UK military presence that reminds Argentina, little more than 200 miles away, not to exercise its continued claim over the Falklands. That Guardian, though, is more than 7,000 miles away in a world newly dominated by strongmen with territorial ambitions.
Walking through this landscape, you get a sense of how tough the conditions were for those who fought in the Falklands conflict, but also a sense of how remote, and to an outsider at least, how inhospitable these islands seem. And with rapidly shifting defence priorities back in Europe, it's reasonable to ask whether the people of the Falkland Islands feel less secure about their future than they have done for the last 40 years.
Though the islanders are ever mindful of their neighbour, Britain had their back once before, and they're confident that won't change.
The Falklands have always been a little rock of democracy and stability in what is otherwise a pretty volatile region, and the Argentine presence is always there. Does it preoccupy our minds, every day? I would say no, but we do watch what's happening very closely. I think the way the world is changing absolutely has to give us all concern, but I think we are really secure in the commitment of the British government.
Argentina's President Javier Milei, an ally of Donald Trump, has said he will not relinquish their claim to sovereignty over the Falklands, but nor will he seek conflict with the UK. People here hope their desire to remain British will be respected, however far away they are in an increasingly uncertain world. Tom Clark, Sky News, the Falkland Islands.